Robert Downey Jr., after a 5-year break, is returning to Marvel, but before he did that, he actually turned down Ryan Reynolds.
So Ryan Reynolds obviously has to be deported back to Canada. Once again, this is a way for the left and the right to come together, because no matter where you stand on the topic of mass deportations of illegals, we can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to.
So Robert Downey Jr. has made one thing crystal clear. He has zero interest in working with Ryan Reynolds. But why is that? Well, it turns out Ryan and Blake allegedly tried to pull the same move on him as they did with Justin Baldoni. Word on the street is that Ryan approached RDJ for a cameo, but Downey saw right through the facade and managed to steer clear of what could have been a risky situation. And now, with all the shocking truths about Hollywood's so-called golden couple coming to light, things are starting to make more sense. With Justin exposing what really goes on behind the scenes with Ryan and Blake, other celebrities seem to be stepping up as well, each taking their turn to spill the tea. Even Martha Stewart couldn't help but throw in her 2 cents about Ryan.
As Built members, what celebrities would be the most fun to hang out with?
He's probably on the list just because he covers himself up in his movies and you don't see his face. Ryan Reynolds, is he one of those? And you want to know something? He's not so funny in real life.
Really?
And now, with Robert Downey Jr. siding with Justin, it seems like Ryan and Blake might be in serious trouble. But what exactly did RDJ say? And does he have some insider scoop that the rest of us are missing? Let's dive in and find out. Turns out Robert Downey Jr. is firmly on Team Justin. According to recent reports, when Ryan was brainstorming a list of A-listers who could make a cameo in Deadpool 3, RDJ was one of the first actors he approached. And honestly, that makes total sense. After all, there's no name bigger than Robert Downey Jr. in the superhero world. Screenwriters Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick even revealed in an interview with People that they had originally written a scene featuring both Happy and RDJ. Ryan went all out trying to convince him, even personally reading the script to RDJ. But here's the shocker. RDJ flat out turned it down.
Jr., after a 5-year break, is returning to Marvel, but before he did that, he actually turned down Ryan Reynolds. Making the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman told Ryan Reynolds in 2021 he'd return as Wolverine after saying 4 years earlier he'd never come back doing the movie Logan. It was one of those cameo-filled movies in history where 45 different actors from both the MCU and the Fox universe returned for Deadpool and Wolverine. But one actor Ryan Reynolds asked to return for Deadpool and Wolverine was Robert Downey Jr., saying he wanted him to share a scene with Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau does actually have a very big scene in the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, but that scene was originally written with Robert Downey Jr. taking the main stage and Jon Favreau only being a small part of it. He even wrote the scene in 2018 just so it would make sense for Robert Downey Jr.'s character to be in there because it does take place before the events of Avengers Infinity War. When Ryan Reynolds approached Robert Downey Jr. with the script, he said he was completely shocked he got an instant no. The reason was Robert Downey Jr. was already in talks to return as Dr. Doom, but he couldn't tell Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds said he didn't know about that until it was revealed, but now is happy for him and said he wants to fight him instead.
Wernick claims Ryan applied hard pressure to him. We wrote scenes, and Downey read the scenes. But behind the scenes, we were ignorant of this Dr. Doom phenomenon. To be honest though, supporters are not purchasing that justification. See, the previous couple of months have been eye-opening when it comes to Ryan Reynolds, and the cold hard truth is that he's just not the wonderful guy he seems to be. Not sure what I mean here? You might wish to call on Candace Owens though. She visited a source who disclosed that Ryan was indeed the one who began Blake and Justin in their whole problem.
Owens posted to her story saying she spoke to a source that claims Ryan Reynolds is the problem. She said the tip came from someone who allegedly worked on the set and said lately everyone is bashing Blake Lively, but apparently the true villain of the saga is Ryan. This person is alleging that everything started when Ryan Reynolds decided to stroll onto the movie set one day and review the dailies. This is an industry term for all the footage that they filmed for the day. And he also decided to take a look at the script, and between the two, something allegedly set him off. This person claims that the production assistants then overheard Ryan and Blake having an argument in her trailer. Ryan Reynolds started being on the set on a regular basis as if he were her chaperone, and that is when he started inserting himself into the actual production, including writing lines. And then she says the next part was alleged in their lawsuits that Ryan and Blake, perhaps in response to her husband's anger, began inserting themselves in the effort to change lines and change scenes. And of course the allegation that Ryan Reynolds was making fun of Justin Baldoni in his movie when he played the character Nice Pool. And we did hear this, I believe, from Justin's lawsuit, but correct me if I'm wrong, but she also says that allegedly Ryan presented an ultimatum to WME, the biggest talent agency in Hollywood, whose client roster include everyone from Taylor Swift to Justin Baldoni, basically saying that it's us or him. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is what Justin Baldoni also alleged And I think he said it happened either at the premiere of It Ends With Us or the premiere of Deadpool and Wolverine. Obviously, she says we know what happens next. He gets dropped by WME. Wayfarer Studios had effectively been instantly blackballed, persona non grata in Hollywood instantly, and truly they had done nothing wrong but cast a woman into one of their movies with an allegedly very jealous husband. My source says that Justin Baldoni is legitimately a good guy who truly wanted to do this project, but he cares deeply about women issues. And she goes on to give what she believes. She says, I think Blake was fine with everything in the movie she signed on for, hence not requesting an intimacy coordinator, and then all that changed the day her husband showed up on set and allegedly blew a fuse. She also believes that it was probably him that demanded Justin be put in the basement for the premiere.
Candace is not messing around here, as Justin's lawsuit made the same charges. According to the lawsuit on July 22, 2024, Lively, Reynolds, and other members of the film's cast attended the premiere for Deadpool and Wolverine. At the after party, Wayfarer was informed that Reynolds approached a senior executive at WME and expressed his deep disdain for Baldoni, going as far as to suggest that the agency is working with a bleep. And, to be honest, Ryan's invitation to these guys in the first place raises a lot of red lights.
Wants to go after you. He infests himself into every area of your life. And he did this Justin Baldoni. He's like, who are your friends, okay? Who owns the production company? Who owns the next movie script? I am going to infest myself everywhere. I'm gonna be doing your movie premiere. I'm gonna be doing promos and making fun of you, right? I'm gonna put myself in the end credits. Like, this is like psychotic behavior.
And that's only the top of the iceberg. See, Candace is not the only one exposing Ryan. With the recent drama shaking up the industry, more and more celebs are emerging out of the shadows. Because what's the sense of hiding when the public knows half the truth? There's Martha Stewart, for one. She recently claimed that Ryan is not the humorous guy the public believes he is.
We asked Built members what celebrities would be the most fun to hang out with.
He's probably on the list just because he covers himself up in his movies and you don't see his face. Ryan Reynolds, is he one of those? And you want to know something? He's not so funny in real life.
Really?
No, he's not so funny. He's very serious. No, Taylor, then I would do Snoop, and then I would take Ryan off it, and I would put in somebody else.
I'm so surprised that Ryan Reynolds isn't funny. This is like a shocker to me. I see him walking up and down our neighborhood all the time.
He can act funny. But he isn't funny. Maybe he can get to be funny again.
I'm so disappointed, actually.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
Most people might think Martha was merely mocking Ryan's sense of humor, but a large portion of the internet believes Martha was hoping people would read between the lines. What she truly meant to say was that Ryan is not the kind guy everyone thinks he is, but rather a sociopath with control issues. Yes, that seems like a reach. But before you jump to judgments, you need to hear from Ryan's co-stars. Like Morena Baccarin in the first Deadpool film, she seemed to take a backseat in the franchise after the first film, and Ryan appeared to be the culprit. To be fair, Morena did not directly blame Ryan. She discussed her absence from the sequel, saying, "I can understand that people felt that way, and I certainly was disappointed that I didn't have more to do because I just loved the part so much. But in watching the film and reading the script, it felt like such an emotionally pivotal role in the film. And the entire arc of his character in the film is set into motion because of what happens to my character, that it felt that I was very involved in the movie, even though I didn't have a lot of scenes." According to insiders, Ryan gave Morena the Justin Baldoni treatment, prohibiting her from attending press events and the like.
Good news! It's all coming out in the wash. So Blake Lively, what she did to Justin Baldoni, guess what? She learned it from Ryan. Ryan Reynolds did the same thing to Morena, her last name is Baccarin, who also was in Deadpool. You remember when she made Justin Baldoni go sit in the basement with his family for the movie premiere? Ryan Reynolds did the same thing to Morena and her family. He did not allow her to be part of any of the movie's premieres for Deadpool.
The worst thing? In fact, Moreno came very near to having a far larger part in the franchise. However, Ryan disagreed with that decision, and he and the director had a falling out. But ultimately, Ryan prevailed, and Moreno was relegated to the bench.
I went and dug a little bit more, and the director of Deadpool, Tim Miller, did this interview and said that he left the Deadpool franchise because of Ryan Reynolds. He said it became clear that Ryan wanted to be in control of the franchise. You can work that way as a director quite successfully, but I can't. I don't mind having a debate, but if I can't win, I don't want to play. And I don't think you can negotiate every creative decision. There's too many to make. So Ryan's the face of the franchise, so if he decides that he wants to control it, then he's going to control it. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does.
Get this, too. Ryan forced Moreno to step aside from the franchise, but he wasn't the only one. Do you recall T.J. Miller? Although he portrayed Weasel in the first 2 Deadpool films, he was viewed from the outside much of the time. And he said that a big part of it was Ryan Reynolds' mindset. On the Adam Carolla Show podcast back in 2022, Miller talked candidly about his unpleasant on-set encounter with Reynolds. He called Reynolds' actions disturbing. As the character, he was horrifically mean to me as if I'm a weasel. So he was like, you know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you do just enough exposition so that it's funny, and then we can leave and get back to the real movie. I would not have done Deadpool 3 if they came to me and were like, we want you to do Deadpool 3 and we're going to pay you twice as much. Miller, like most people, wondered why Ryan would treat him this way. It turns out that celebrity got to him.
I think after he got super, super famous from the first Deadpool, then things kind of changed. I think he was like, see, you guys see? And then I think I don't know. I mean, would I work with him again? No.
No.
I would not work with him
that
again.
much vitriol.
But I've said that about Michael Bay, and now we're friends, and I would work with him again. But I think Michael Bay is different. And Michael Bay worked on a movie with Ryan Reynolds also. And so he has a very specific opinion.
That may mirror
of
your
Ryan
own.
Reynolds. And that was a good part of our last conversation with me and Bay. But I sort of wish him well because he's so good at Deadpool. And I think it's weird that he hates me.
Miller believed that beneath all the bravado, Ryan was just an insecure person who found satisfaction in belittling others to boost his own ego.
Felt it coming from him.
Everybody did. That's why it was awkward. Everybody was like, why is Ryan doing this? And the other weird thing is like, maybe he got, I think he's kind of an insecure dude. He's really nice, but I mean, his Twitter bio is showing you the parts of me that tested the best in focus groups. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure that he's joking. I think that might actually be his real sentiment.
And it's not just him. His wife, Blake Lively, is apparently cut from the same cloth. Word on the street is that the actress might just be an even bigger control freak. Don't believe it? Let's zoom in on Anna Kendrick for a second. These two teamed up back in February 2018 for A Simple Favor, and they recently linked up again for the sequel. But here's the juicy part. Fans are buzzing with speculation that Anna was not thrilled about working with Blake this time around.
Blake, what does it mean to be back with Anna? Oh, it's the best. I'm so happy. Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again? Oh, we're talking about you all day. Oh my God. Oh, come on. Get it in selfie mode.
The sly way Anna dodged that question left fans buzzing with suspicion. She didn't seem thrilled about teaming up with Blake, and it's got everyone talking. Insiders have been dropping hints for ages, claiming these two have been locking horns off camera. According to one source, there is a gigantic pink elephant in the room that no one is acknowledging. The backlash to the initial promo has been brutal. There are people protesting and refusing to see it. According to sources, these films are pretty much the only thing Anna and Blake have in common. Sure, they have a professional relationship, but it's far from a deep friendship or close bond. Behind the scenes, last-minute discussions are taking place with studio executives because Anna is looking to create some distance from Blake moving forward. Initially, the plan was for both of them to handle a significant portion of the film's promotion together. That was the studio's expectation, and both Anna and Blake had agreed. However, Anna is now considering going solo to avoid getting tangled in any unnecessary drama. Beyond this, Anna and the rest of the team don't foresee any major collaboration happening. In fact, she's already preparing to take on the promotional duties herself. She prefers it that way. Dodging questions about Blake's lawsuit or turning every interview into a heated Q&A about the controversy is the last thing she wants. While Blake is contractually obligated to promote the movie, for now, the ball is in her court. But make no mistake.
I just noticed something, and I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but I just noticed that for the new A Simple Favor, I've been calling it A Simple Favor 2, it's supposed to be Another Simple Favor, with starring Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. When I was looking at it, I noticed, and if you look at the poster, Blake Lively's name is like sitting up higher than Anna Kendrick's, but it's like off to the side up high. It doesn't make any sense. It looks so weird, but it's weird. Anna Kendrick's name is first, but then up higher and to the right of it is Blake Lively's name floating above her. And I looked at, they put out several different posters for this new movie coming out. They announced it's being released May 1st, and it's in all of them. So then I went back and looked at all the A Simple Favor movies previously. Not all of them, but the previous one. And it's not like that. It says Anna Kendrick's name first, and then Blake Lively is next. So I just did a quick search, and Anna Kendrick's movies, the number of movies she's been in, has been 50. Blake Lively, 25. So she's been in half the movies. And gross, Anna Kendrick's movies have made just over $2 billion, and Blake Lively's have made just over $1 billion. Why would her name be up floating higher? I mean, obviously Anna Kendrick's name should be first. She's the bigger star and always has been and always will be now. But then I'm thinking they can try to say it was something artistic, but if you see it, go look at the poster, it makes no sense at all. Was this a demand of Blake Lively that, Anna Kendrick will get her name first, but then Blake circumvents that, and even though Anna Kendrick's name is first, hers is higher?